Hey, welcome to the Ill Informers. I'm Elyott Ryan, and I'm here with Nash and Darren. And yeah,
Good morning,
hi. How's it
Good
going?
morning.
evening.
It's
Yeah,
it's
well, we
it's 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 early. Ellie, you had mentioned at one point sometimes you don't feel funny in the evening. Is that
I
true
don't
every
feel,
evening?
yeah, I don't feel funny anytime, and then in the evening it's accelerated.
yeah.
Right.
Is that just because of the draining effect of your children have on you, or just the general despair that comes when the night falls?
Yeah, in the morning I have a lot more hope. I have a lot
Yeah,
more hope, and I can feel that excitement. And then as the night goes on, that hope goes away.
I find the lack of hope is actually makes me more open to fun.
Is that the general despair and the malaise of life? I mean, you do kind of look like a French philosopher right now, like you.
Yeah, I feel like a French philosopher right now. I think like that always that lack of like, oh my God, this is meaningless and the world's just gonna explode one day. It's like, let's have a giggle. I'm okay with having a little giggle.
I'm the opposite. I have to take like 3 anxiety supplements, and then I'm like, okay, now I can have fun.
Do you what? So you suffer from anxiety? I think I knew that. Don't answer that. I know that. But so you take supplements. Is this from your? Because I've been struggling myself with some anxiety. So I'm wondering what's. I'm assuming it's herbal based on your
Yeah,
current
yeah.
place of employment.
Elliott's going to give you some bullshit stuff about, like, he'll be like, here's some kale, take some potassium. You need to go to a pharmacy and get some proper drugs, something manufactured in some like underground facility in Bern. I don't know. Like,
Have you
this,
seen
like,
those
going,
commercials? Have you seen those commercials for the antidepressants? It's like, yeah, you might not feel it's like this will help you, but the side effects are like your dick will fall off. You might feel more depressed. You might actually kill yourself.
But is it the worst thing in the world if your dick falls off but you don't care? I think that's not so bad. It's a problem if you're anxious if your dick falls off and you're like, I need my dick. But if you're like, I'm okay.
it's fine. I like the side effects. That's what I go for. You look for the side effects. Like,
I want all of
and I
them.
like I like how the side effects too are like exactly like your dick might fall off. It also might get bigger. Your depression might get worse, or you might have an elevated sense of gladness. I don't even know. Like, they're like opposite effects. You might feel like a bag of shit. You almost might feel like the greatest thing in the world. They just cover all bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The side effect they don't know,
You can
and they
play
always
like
just
you can play like supplement no side effects music bingo. It's like if you get 5 in a row, then you win.
I've got diarrhea and thoughts of suicide.
Oh, I'm one away. I just need severe suicidal thoughts. And then I win a
So what? So
$5 gift card.
what's? So what do you take? You mentioned 3.
Yeah.
What do you got?
let's find out what bullshit this
You
is.
can't if you say bananas.
No.
I'm leaving.
These aren't bullshit. These 100% work. Ashwagandha. That's a light one. That's one you take like you can take daily, and it's like
You can also put it in your curry, and it's very delicious. Pairs well with a butter chicken, a little sprinkle of ashwagandha on top.
Are you being racist, or is that true?
Oh, it's true.
It's true. Okay. Is that so? That's a type of root. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it tastes like horse hair. It tastes like that hair around a horse's ass. It tastes like that, but it works. I've tasted that hair before, and I can compare. And it's like the match.
Elyott rim jobbing horses out on a farm. That was the first symptom. That's the first side effect. Maybe that's why he's got off the pharmaceutical.
You crave horse ass.
That's why I never released that sketch. Don't worry about it. Then there's another one called Kava, which is actually works. That one's like really strong. You can feel it. Like,
oh yeah. It's
Kava
also
Kava.
a drug. If you take a bunch of Kava, isn't it like a stimulant, get you high a little bit, like caffeine?
No, that's
Scratch that off my list.
That's kratom.
Right.
Kratom, you take a little bit. And it gets you like jittery, like you're on cocaine. Like I've taken kratom and a little bit, and then I went to like a restaurant, and I was just chatting up everybody. Like I'd never normally talk. So like, and I was just like just so bubbly and like couldn't shut up.
I think you'd given me some kratom before, and I took it, but I didn't really. I think it's because I was mixing it with cocaine. That's why it did more. That's why I wasn't able to feel the effects.
Weird. That's weird. Maybe I think there might be some. So it's like weed where the first couple times you take it, you don't really feel it. That could be happening.
Mm-hmm.
But kratom's pretty strong, so I don't know if you took the wrong amount, or you just.
So it's like all I know is I just yelled at my kids for 2 hours straight.
Okay,
what's the third thing? What's the third thing?
You can take like L-theanine, or you can take rhodiola, or you can take yeah, some other ones too.
And you find this helps you.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're effective. Kava's the most. Kava's the most effective, and like there's studies on Kava that like legitimate studies that it can prove anxiety and depression.
Have you ever taken pharmaceutical ones? Like, have you ever went in like got the? Never done that. Always done the all natural route. Done a bunch of bullshit meditation and eat weeds.
Yep. I think nutrition, just trying to keep on your top of your nutrition is the best. But like, yeah, because you don't want to become dependent on anything. I don't like taking sleeping pills. I don't like taking, but I have started taking melatonin. I took melatonin, and then like 2 seconds later, my son hit his head really hard, and I had to go to the hospital. And I was on melatonin, and I was just like so sleepy, just waiting in like the ER room, just like falling asleep, and it was brutal.
It looked like you both had concussions.
Yeah, we're like, no, he was fine. We stayed at the hospital till like 12:30, and he was playing the whole time, and I was just like in the chair, just like catatonic.
It looked like a neglectful father.
Yeah, and then I got home and I couldn't sleep because the melatonin had worn off. Perfect.
I take it sometimes. I find it helpful. It gets me in. I have a hard time like submitting to the evening, if that makes sense. So like when I get to like, I don't want to go to bed. I think it's like a waste of time. But then I don't want to wake up because I'm a child. So if I take it and I have like a 10-minute window where I get in bed, and then it just kind of sends me over the edge, and then the momentum does the rest.
I think the big thing, like, because I'll take melatonin too. This is like a melatonin support group, I think. But it's because I have trouble staying asleep. So I'll get it I'll go to bed at 9:00 because I'm fucking old. But then like I'm up like 2:00, 2:15, 2:30, 2:32, just like looking at the clock. But melatonin will just crest you through nicely till morning.
I was taking like, I think the 3 milligram pills or 2 milligram. And then I rebought them because I ran out, but they were 5 milligrams. And then I took my regular dose. I was fucked up until 1:00 the next day.
I take 1.5.
You guys also 1.5 pussies. 10. I just take I just put out 4 or 5 in my hands and just that's it. Chow those and lights out, baby.
Get your wife to pitch it into your mouth.
Yeah, crush it up, snort it, put it. I got the suppository one, so that's a little fun and excitement before going to bed.
I always think of that line from The Departed with Jack Nicholson when he's throwing cocaine into the hooker's ass. And then he tells the other one, he's like, inhale until you go numb.
That's what Kava does.
Yeah.
Amen.
I got a new shampoo, and it's really strong orange smell, and it's so good because like throughout the whole day, I just like it's like I'm soaring over California. Have you been on that ride? I just smell oranges,
but I've heard of it
all day long, and it's perfect.
Is it like that kind of? Have you tried that like Working Hands like hand wash orange stuff? What's that called?
Oh yeah, the orange.
That's got a very nice artificial citrus.
Oh, that's real. Flavor. That's orange essence.
What is this ride? A ride you go on that smells like oranges?
Have you ever taken your kids to Disneyland?
Wait, everybody stop. Wait, what is this? What is this?
How old are your
me.
kids? How old are your kids? You've never taken them to Disneyland?
14. We did go to Disneyland 4 or 5 years ago, I think.
California Adventure.
Yeah.
Soaring over California.
They had a big push in the late 90s to advertise this. I know, like, yeah, you like
right.
it's like a big wraparound screen, and you sit on this like weird chairlift type thing, and then you fly and it moves, and then when you go over the orange fields, they spray.
They inoculate you with orange smell and
yeah.
The I remember the Star Wars one that was like that. Like that was fun, but I don't remember orange.
It's when you're like in a big room, like you're in like an IMAX, and then they have a huge screen, and then you're flying and you're moving with it, and then you smell oranges as you go over the orange trees, and you smell pine as you go over the pine forests.
No, because I do remember traumatizing my daughter, taking her on the log ride, and we got on, and immediately
Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain. She's like,
it's not a hard
I want to
name.
get off, and I'm like, you're shit out of luck. You can't get off now, and just screaming the whole time, I want. I'm like, you better fucking hold on tight, kiddo, because
did you buy that photo?
That's a good lesson in life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can't get off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mushrooms
6, and I was just like,
coasters.
man up. Yeah. Yeah, there is that moment when you do mushrooms where you just have to like, you go, it's too late. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and just buckle up, kiddo, because here we go.
That's what I remember. We did the big roller coaster in Vegas, and I think it's a good idea.
New York.
Yeah, and then I got on, and it's just like 5 minutes straight up, and I'm like, I can't believe your whole body's like, why? I want off. This is stupid. Why would you ever do this? This is, if I die, this is not worth it. But then there's that moment where you realize you have no control, and you just enjoy the ride on the way down.
Roller coasters are my favorite thing of all time. I love roller coasters. I can't wait till this COVID goes away so I can go on more roller coasters. That's the one thing I've realized about my life is like I haven't gone on enough roller coasters. But
life is a roller coaster, Elyott. You know.
I want to go on roller coaster Inception. But that Splash Mountain is actually kind of scary because it doesn't feel like you're buckled in it at all. Like it's one of those rides where it's barely safe.
Yeah, it's like going to a midway where you're actually not buckled in because they just forget to buckle you in, and then you have to just grip on. There is a diminishing effect with roller coasters though. Like because we were in Disneyland, we went on the other one at California Adventure like 9 or 10 times in a row, and it definitely by the 8th time you're just kind of like, oh, I could. The first time is horrifying, terrifying.
You're thinking about what movie you want to watch later. You're like,
yeah. You're like, is this almost? Oh, I remember this, and you just corkscrew around. People are screaming around you, and you're just like reading a newspaper.
That's how I feel like every day. It's like, here comes the corkscrew again. Everybody's screaming.
Is that your killer name? The corkscrew.
The corkscrew.
I spin you until you die, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's my numbing drink, actually. No, yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, I forget.
Disneyland has pussy roller coasters. Like they only have one roller coaster in the whole park. You can't call yourself a theme park.
Really?
That's the only thing I'm disappointed about Disney. In California Adventure,
it's none other child labor is disappointing. Just the lack of roller coasters.
They use that child labor to make more roller coasters. I'd be like, great.
I do like the Cars. Did you go to the Cars ride when you were there?
I haven't been there since it's been open.
Yeah, Disneyland is a very spooky place, though. I feel like that's the sort of dystopian utopia we're all like craving when you go in there, and you're just like, there's not a stitch of litter anywhere. There's like everything gets clean. People pop out. If anything happens, like any event, all of a sudden there's like 5 guys in suits with earpieces, like there immediately, like taking care of business.
Putting black bags over people's heads. I have a friend who goes. Him and his wife go every year. It's their favorite place, and they go by themselves. And I'm so jealous because I've asked him about it, but they just love it. It's some sort of, they go every single year and they have this little shrine in their apartments. And he's like a beautiful photographer and he takes these beautiful pictures of them in Disneyland. But they go every year. Obviously,
That is
the last couple of years.
I've been like 5 times, but I want to go more. I just don't have enough money.
But you need
if I had
to
more
go
money, I would go.
With kids. I mean, the insane thing was getting on the plane and I was sitting next to a couple who are like in their early 20s, no kids, and they've got married, and their honeymoon is going to Disneyland. I was like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. You need to wait to Disneyland. Like, I was so upset that when I got back, I was like, Disneyland, that was fine. I had a good trip. But it was like, I don't want to go to fucking Disneyland. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to beaches. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to Amsterdam. I want to go to Venice. I want to go to adult places. I was like, Disneyland, I have to go on this trip because I've got kids.
Yeah.
People will think you're a bad parent if you don't take them. But I was like, and it was fine. I reluctantly had a good time. But
I could not disagree more.
Oh.
Beaches are so boring. You can go to beaches here. You can go to beaches here. There's beaches here. There's sand. Sand is sand.
Yeah, but I want to go to a beach where it's hot, not where it's freezing cold. And there's shells everywhere cutting up your feet. I want to go white sand beaches. And Disneyland is like, and it is like it is fine, but definitely not a place that. I mean, you go so you can experience joy through the eyes of the children.
He said through extreme detachment.
I went to Disney Paris. I had horrible food poisoning. Okay. I had a massive headache. I had crazy diarrhea, French diarrhea, like French diarrhea. It's coming out like Pierre. You know what I mean?
Like it smells good or bad? Good or bad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It smells like baguettes.
It smells like baguettes and horseradish. And yeah, I was just like, they had robot trash cans like rolled around and you just like poop in one of those and you keep going. But I went on every single ride there because I love Disneyland so much. I like, my head was hitting the sides, like massive headache. And I was just like, I was loving it.
I have a question. When's the last time you guys shit your pants?
God, it's been a lot. It's been a while.
Probably 10 years.
10 years.
Wow, yours seems pretty recent, Nash.
No.
Yours seems pretty recent.
He
like it happened this week.
I've had a couple like.
You asked that like it was this week.
I've just been thinking about it. I was having a conversation with another friend. I've had a couple like, oh, that's shit, and then I inspect and I'm like, oh no, okay, huh.
I think it is. It does not seem as uncommon for people to shit their pants as you would imagine. I think, which I only started to. But
talking about like a little poop or like.
Last time I shit my pants, I think I was like 6 or 7. I was at my cousin's place. I was walking up the stairs to take a shit. And then my brother and my cousin jumped out and scared me. And then I pooped my pants. That was full on like log teleported in my underpants. Like appeared at a warp drive.
How traumatized were you from that? They must have just been so happy high-fiving each other.
They laughed so hard.
Do they still bring it up?
Yeah, my wife found out about it. She doesn't let it go. I was going up to use the bathroom. I was going to poop. Mm-hmm. That was a contributing factor. And like I had to go bad, so it was just like bad timing.
Great timing. Yeah, I once pooped the kitchen, but I haven't really. That's the last time. Right. I was probably like 14.
You pooped in the kitchen?
No, pooped on the kitchen, all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was wearing shorts, and it was diarrhea, and it went all over the kitchen.
Like your kitchen?
No, some stranger's kitchen. It was my. I broke into a house. I had to take a poop, and then I just was like, "Oh, this kitchen's perfect."
He upper decked the entire kitchen.
Last time I was in Fairways, I was walking down the detergent aisle, and I'm like, all these detergents smell like human shit. And then I looked down, I'm like, oh no, there's just human shit. And the whole aisle was like, you could see the steps the person was taking, and then the whole aisle had a trail of human shit down it.
That's awful.
Then I got my
Um,
tortillas and then I left. And then
you didn't alert anyone.
I
Yeah.
did. I was like, you might have a little mess in aisle 7 there. And
Now
then
they think
called
it's
somebody,
you, though.
and I was like, not with these skinny jeans. There's no shit getting out of these.
I once was in a restaurant having coffee with a friend of mine, and this older gentleman came out of the bathroom, and the smell that preceded him was so awful. And then I felt terrible, but I think his colostomy bag had exploded, like he was trying to empty his colostomy bag. And he came out, looked like his shirt was covered in gravy. And then, and he fucking skedaddled.
Like a gunshot
wound.
Yeah.
But it was like, you're sort of like, oh my God, what is that? And then you sort of like put 2 and whatever disgusting together, and you were like, oh, that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever tried
several
to
twos?
take something, a liquid from a bag, and put it in something else? It's impossible. I can't imagine it being doo-doo. Like those bags of ketchup you get. You ever seen those?
Yes. Yeah.
Just throw it out.
Side work, restaurant side work.
Yeah. Ugh. Poor guys. Colostomy bags. That's brutal because everybody knows too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're just stuck with it.
Yeah, you can't do. I know a few people of varying ages who have colostomy bags, and I think it's one of those things like you can't go. It's hard to go swimming. Like you don't want your. I think probably now they have plugs you can screw in. I don't know, but just like a drain plug. Ooh.
Yeah, do they have branded ones, like novelty ones, like they're like caps or something, or
Gucci?
Yeah.
It's like one of those water spouts. You just twist it sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
I always
lean
think
over.
I always think if I if I don't know myself enough to know if I would be able to accept that. Like at some point, I guess it's like my hair loss or something. Like at what point when do you stop fighting it? Like
yeah.
I think it'd be more like just to make my family more comfortable, I'd have to be cool with it. I think that would be
Like, well, one guy I know who got it, he was super young. Like he was like, I'm not going to get it, and went through a bunch of surgeries. And then eventually it's just like, well, I'm going to die, but I don't want a colostomy bag because they're stupid. And then he's just like, I have to get a colostomy bag. Because you're just looking like, this is going to be so hard. Go to the beach and our chick's going to want to fuck me. And then you're just like, or death. And then you're just like, okay, I'll find some non-shallow woman who can finger my colostomy bag and get off on it. My colostomy
I'll take a lot of ashwagandha and then I'll be fine.
Hey, a poop hole's a poop hole, I've always said.
I got 2.
Well, yeah, that's brutal. How old is he?
Now
you don't have to say if this will give away. Not that anybody's going to listen.
No. Now he's in his 40s, but he got it when he was pretty young, like early to mid 20s.
Oh, brutal. Yeah, because you can't not have it, right? Can you just not?
No, not when your insides are all fucked up and you're probably gonna die.
You just gotta juice some celery.
Like, juice some. You're like, celery is the cure for everything.
If you had juice celery, you wouldn't have needed it.
Yeah, I wonder if that would like streamline, because you probably have to watch your diet, right? You can't can't be eating.
He did eat at McDonald's 3 times a day, so that he did not.
Oh, he was not healthy. Like it wasn't a fluke thing, or was
no, he was a healthy dude. I think it was just like one of those congenital things.
Brutal. I
like to drop congenital into. I only learned what that word means 3 days ago. So
right,
congenital. I'm almost a doctor.
Yeah, I think I had
something to do with like
herpes at one point.
Is it congenital like a fake genitals? Is that what it is? You got that congenitals?
I've got one of those. My wife's got one of those.
Is it you? Are you the congenital?
Some people would, a lay person would call it a strap-on, but
right.
I prefer it's a congenital if you want to get technical.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, a poop hole's a poop hole, am I right, boys?
Oh yeah.
There's nothing truer been said.
What about peeing your pants? When was the last time you peed your pants? Oh, fuck you guys. You got to think about it. Fuck you.
Oh, actually, one time I peed myself at like college. That was probably the last time.
You went to college? That's what I'm most surprised about this that statement. When did this happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I dropped out right after this event. I went to go pee, and then the stream went completely left. Like I was peeing in the urinal and then the stream went left because it was like a hot, sweaty day or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
But you're circumcised, right? We had this conversation.
Yeah.
That seems like a hooded pee problem.
Dilemma. Yes, that's right. Get the split stream.
It happens to all of us.
So it's a urethra.
I just wasn't. I wasn't paying attention. Sometimes, like you gotta. The stream doesn't always go straight at first.
So, okay. So then you had pee on the left side of your pants.
There's a lot of pee. I don't know. I pee pretty fast.
You got a large diameter, so it just kind of falls out like a bucket.
It's like a sprinkler. It's a very broad spray.
I was on the and then you have to like clean it up, and then I can't remember. I think I just
did.
What college were you?
I washed it off. I'm not gonna.
It was definitely Camosun.
Do you want to talk about what? The college or the pee?
I don't want to talk about anything anymore. I'm done.
Why not? I think that's great. I'm not going to make fun of you for going to college.
You just made fun of him, Nash.
That was about the pee, though, not about trying to further your education. I mean, I'll make fun if you want. I'll ask your permission first, but.
Then you just have to I dried it off, I guess.
He wrung his pants out in the
pretty much,
and put them back on, and went back into the Spratshaw classroom, and there you go.
Did you take any post-secondary studies, Darren?
I did. For all the good it did me, yeah. I went to Camosun and then also up to University of Victoria. But I am coming around to the point that post-secondary education is a scam.
Right. Yeah.
Big time.
Especially nowadays, they make you learn all these classes, and then you're like, it's not applicable to anything.
Yeah.
You never.
And not only that, then you leave, and if you've got student loans, they're like, oh, not only can you go back to your job as a barista, no offense, Nash. Also, here's a $60,000 debt that you accrued so you could learn anthropology or sociology or some other dumb.
Is that what did you study? History.
Yeah, which was, I mean, it's great. I like stories, but I'm like, I just could have read
a bunch that on your own.
Yes.
Yeah. Elyott, what were you studying? Can I guess? No, he doesn't like this. Okay, you just want to tell me? I wasn't trying to be funny. I was
studying fucking pussy, like what?
Wait,
yeah. You're like, what is that? What is this?
I didn't know.
I know what.
How do you do this?
What is this for?
Please let Nash guess. I want Nash to find
I guess it's fine.
But try to put in a decent effort, Nash. Don't.
Okay. Can I ask how long you stayed in attendance? Wait, I'll guess that too. Let's say no, you did not through first. Okay, just for reference, I did not take any post-secondary studies, and I'm as a defense mechanism. I'm also saying that it's a scam because if anything I'm not good at, I immediately think it's dumb. So did you complete? I don't think you completed the first semester. Is that right?
No, I did, you jackass.
You did? Okay. Well, I would have dropped out immediately if I don't like something. I'm like, fuck this. Okay, so you did one semester?
Nope.
Well, you did the first year?
More.
Like you did a whole thing. What do you call it?
I did a year and a half. Okay. I did a year at Camosun and 1 semester at UVic.
Maybe we've talked about this. Was it business?
No.
Marketing, like any sort of business related? Trades? Pottery? No.
Trades.
I don't know why Darren found that so funny.
Drywaller, plumbing.
Okay, we don't have to talk about this. You don't seem comfortable with that. That's okay.
No, it's fine. I was biology.
Oh.
And I was on the
dean. You're right. Yeah.
I thought you did computer studies.
I've done a boot camp.
Programming.
Well, first of all, when you're in college, the first year, you take a bunch of different things. So it's like not really. I took like English, physics, math, calculus, Java. So you take everything. But I was going in for biology. I wanted to become a biologist. But my grades were fine. I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, school gets very, very boring after you've been in it for a while. You realize you're like, because you want to be a biologist. I imagine you're like, I'm going to get out on the savannah. I'm going to do biology stuff with lions and elephants. And then you get into class and they just start talking about chromosomes and shit like that. And you're just like,
yeah,
this is boring.
You have to memorize the drop of deer population from 1993 to 1997. And you're like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What was the point that you do you remember like the moment where you're like, I'm done with it? Because that's a big decision to turn your back on that momentum type thing. So
it was more of a health decision than anything.
Oh, okay.
He was partying too much, too many keggers, getting out with the frat boys, coming up with new hazing rituals for pledges.
You got chlamydia, is that what you're saying?
From the pledges.
I finally learned how to fuck that pussy, and I was like, "Oh no, this is an infected one."
The Nash, why did you not go to post-secondary?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, if it's something I can't do, I think it's stupid. So, no, I didn't. I had trouble, in hindsight, I did not do well in school. I had trouble keeping up. But I had this bad combination of what's the word? It's a combination of struggling with the process and then just arrogant confidence. So I'm like, man, this is dumb. I don't really want to do it. And I'm also like a little bit of a contrarian. So if somebody's like, everybody in the small town's like, so what are you going to do after high school? You going to university? So I would kind of get off on being like, nah, I don't know. I'm going to wait until I find out what I want to do before.
You were a leather jacket, back of the classroom type. Yo, teach, when am I ever going to use this math, eh?
Exactly. And then they'd be like, oh, you're going to use it. You'll use it next year in grade 11. And I'd be like, fuck you. Fuck you, you dick. You know exactly. That means I'm right. But it's, I just never, in hindsight, I probably should have, I think. But again, I still don't know. I still don't really want to go to university. And now it's such a financial commitment that I'd have to commit to it entirely. And I know 3 weeks in, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this.
It's such a big gamble because you have zero idea if the job at the end, if you're going to get a job, first of all, and then if you're going to like that job. There's no guarantee you're going to like that job. You think in your brain as a 17, I was 17 when I made a decision for myself. I was an idiot. I think I would have liked become a biologist at the end, but like you have no idea. And you have no idea if you're going to land a job.
I don't know any biologists. I don't run in those circles, but I feel like the majority of the time, whatever degree you get, you just end up working for the government with some echo of the
dream.
Yeah, that's what I end up doing. Like, I got a degree and I guess it helped me get a job with the government, but still it's like, I mean, I had a lot like from my parents' generation, who are like, my parents are total boomers. But they came from that generation. Like, you went to university for 4 years, you studied, and then you got out and you got a cushy middle management job somewhere making like a solid middle class or better income. And that's why they're like, you got to go to university. Now, if you're going to university, any kids listening to this, if you're going to university and you don't know what you're going to do, your postgraduate degree, MA or PhD studies, you're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't even go to school to get a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's degree is like graduating high school.
Yeah. See, I have more like, go to school and take like business. I would know what I'd want to do afterwards. Like, it'd be a business I'd go to to learn about business, to start a business.
You can just start a business.
It's true.
The 4 years of you starting a business, like my brother started a business and he basically said that he learned almost nothing. Like he only learned how to set up the business, but everything else from running the business he had to learn that on the job.
Yeah.
So
we also have YouTube
to start a business. Yeah.
That's true.
I guess it probably did help him like learn how to, forecast how much you're going to make sure that but most of that you had to learn on the job. Like learning how much you are actually have to charge to cover your basis and stuff, like your
yeah. But and well, Nash, because you're an entrepreneur, he's like sort of, but it's got to be like you just got to like get the shit together, keep your head above water for the first 3 or 4 years till you start to turn a profit.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about
No, it's not that. It's pretty fun, and yeah, it is a lot of learning on the job. I think what I'm missing right now actually is just that the overall, like, people kept saying write a business plan out, and I'm like, I don't know, why do I need to do that? I know all the numbers, like what needs to happen, et cetera. But I think it's more like for a long-term thing. So it's like, if you don't do this, what I'm struggling with now, obviously with COVID, et cetera, it's like, do I stick it out and eventually be free in a year or two now? Or do I pull the chute now and cut my losses and then not? Because I'm still working full-time in another job, and then my wife is working, obviously, and then I have the business that I do in the mornings, which not making money and losing a bit of money. So it's like doing the math over a year. It's like I will lose this much by the end of the year, but it's also possible that I won't. So I'm just in this constant state of like, is it not working because of COVID, or is it? It feels like it hasn't got a fair shake anyway. Now I'm rambling, but
that's all right.
I just don't know what to do. What's the right choice? Maybe there isn't a right choice.
No, there isn't. You need to be like a samurai and just make your decision in a single breath. Like, that's it. I'm gonna stick it out until my wife and I are destitute. Yeah. I think.
I think that's it. I think I'm gonna, like, I've signed another year lease. I'm gonna get reevaluated in a year. It's also hard too because we don't have any of my usual creative outlets. Like, can't really get together and make music with people, or comedy, of course. This is great, but like, to be honest, like, not being in the same room with somebody and doing this is like 10% the satisfaction of what my soul needs right now. No offense, this is great. Don't get me wrong, but if
I see you and I hear you.
Great, that helps a lot. Thanks, Darren.
You
know what I mean, though? Like, it's not the same.
No. I just there's definitely something about because I think we're gonna do an open mic, feedback mic, like, tomorrow night, which will be great, and it's fun to just take stuff that you've written and say it. But there is something about, like, being in the room, whether it's in front of like 2 people and a bunch of comics, or just a bunch of comics, which the open mics can be, but actually, like, being there and doing the stuff and having that, like, kinetic energy, which is just doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah.
That's a good, like.
It's a weird psychology about it. Yeah. It's like watching a special on Netflix and then being in that room. It's a million times different.
Well, and I think with, particularly, again, I don't have a lot of experience with stand-up, but I feel like the audience is a part of it. Like, it's like, as much as the guitar is playing the guitar, you could learn and do stuff and write without a guitar, but it's kind of like,
well, you need to be able to, you can't react to what's going on and what's taking place out there and make like eye contact with people and draw upon that energy. You're just sort of like, you're just sort of saying the shit that you wrote down without any kind of real feedback. Oh, now I'm depressed.
Bringing it down to my level.
But that's like, I need some kava.
I'm gonna write that down, kava.
But I
with
do
a K?
think
Yeah.
but I do think
It's
there's
like
something
Java
like
with a K.
it's better than nothing. Like certainly we wouldn't be doing this if there was spaces we could go to and actually do it in person. But seeing as that doesn't fucking exist, it's like this is better than nothing, and I'd rather take this than nothing.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Play in the fucking snow?
I've been doing improv with you guys know Kevin. I've been doing improv with Kevin, socially distanced.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. Kevin's great improviser too, isn't he?
He's
Kevin Madaview.
Yeah. He's incredible. So I've just been leeching off of him.
Nice.
Well, I think he's been really missing it too. So I'm like, we should just get together 6 feet apart.
Like Nash is just the energy vampire out there. Ooh, we should get together, Kevin. Ooh.
Yeah, he's aging rapidly because of me. Yes. No, that's been fun. At least there's some sort of outlet, which doesn't necessarily need an audience. Well, it does, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds terrible to do from my to just do improv with one other person, like 6
one
feet
other
apart,
person.
like, here's a ruler. Oh, it could also be a tightrope.
Yeah, it's more like just me just laughing at how great he is because he's so quick. But
he is fantastic.
Anyway. I wasn't anticipating that to kill the momentum.
Keep doing your improv. Keep doing
great.
Your improv.
It's clearly helping with the podcast.
You got that? Yeah. Have you guys been enjoying the snow?
Yes.
Nope.
No. Darren, why do you hate everything that is fun, Darren? You're like, kids enjoy this. I'm gonna hate it.
I realized I was making notes for the podcast, and I was like, and then I've written down here curmudgeon because and it's not that I hate the snow. I like the snow, but I like it in specific, like at a ski hill where you could do shit in it, like ski or snowboard, and enjoy it. Like here, I'm just like, I look out, my kids are like, woo, snow, all right. I'm like, oh God. I'm like gonna watch Waterworld, and I'm just picturing like it just means our house is just gonna be like a flood of wet snow pants and jackets and stuff. So I like to balance out the joy with my misery.
I think it's fun. You guys can like tobogganing is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
You get the right hill, brings you back to your childhood.
It's all about that hill.
Yeah,
baby.
Just like a roller coaster.
Yeah. I don't like to get. This actually comes back to the Splash Mountain thing. I don't really like to get wet. I only like to get wet under extremely specific circumstances. Like I don't even like to, when we go to the lake or the beach, I don't go in the water because I don't want to change in the parking lot like some homeless person.
Nash is in his leather jacket, just standing on the beach, just watching people frolic and enjoy.
Yeah, I'll bring a chair. I'm more than happy to sit and enjoy. Don't ask me to dance or go in the water or like, whatever the fuck people with serotonin do. I don't like, I think it's because I grew up on a lake. So every time I would go into the lake, I could immediately come out and go into my shower and then put on a fresh pair of clothes. So if I can't immediately do that, I don't want to participate. Like if somebody pushes me into a pool, like I'm like that's my nightmare, being pushed.
Yeah. People think it's fun and you're just like, now I have to beat you up.
Yeah, I get a soaker like in the rain and I'm like, I'm thrown into a spiral.
Yeah.
Water balloons are your worst nightmare?
Oh, it's like, fuck you, man. I didn't, or Kato, like my brother used to do this so much. He would we'd just be hanging out and he'd have a glass of water. He'd take one drink and then just throw the glass of water on me.
Your brother sounds like a really fun guy. Making fun of you.
It's pretty funny because it really bothered me, but.
And then you would poop yourself.
You would just laugh. No, what he would also do is we had this toilet because we had a septic tank. So we had this toilet that would like grind up the shit. Or it was a pump. It had to get pumped out. So basically you had to hold down the flusher button for 10 seconds. So he would take these huge shits and not flush. And then he would leave the house. And then I'd walk in and I'd be like, oh my God. and then I'd have to like stand there and hold down the button for 10 seconds and like.
There's nothing more intimate than looking at someone else's shit. You're like,
I have to do it every day with my son, and he takes like these enormous. He takes full-sized man poops, and they're smelly, and it's awful. And like, yeah. So
Like,
I haven't pooped in my pants for 13 years, but I've had to clean it up for the past like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse when it's not yours. It's worse when it's not yours.
Oh, 100%. It just looks a little different too. Like every time I see somebody else's poop, I go, I've never had a poop look like that. I don't know if that's a me thing or if I'm like, should my poop look like this? I don't understand. It's always a little more like fuzzier or something. I don't know, like not fuzzy obviously, but like it's just different than my poops. My poops are different.
I have a picture of a poop from work that someone was like, I don't know how someone was able to dilate their asshole large enough to conceive this shit. But then what was great was one of the ladies at work took a picture of it, sent it to me, and then I got to put like glasses and stuff on it and wigs and things like that, and dress it up on my phone.
Sometimes I take a big shit. I'm like, I kind of like this. maybe I'd like it the other way, like, oh, I kind of get this now. This is.
You need to get one of those congenitals.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm like, oh, I kind of get it. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, big poops. That was the worst I've ever bombed. Was I wrote 5 minutes on big poop material at Dylan's.
It didn't work. You're telling me it didn't work?
No, Elyott, I can still remember you looking at me and just laughing because I said the first line and I was like, and there's just two old drunk guys, and I was like, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work, and I just.
And that's Dylan's is a real shit crowd too. I mean, I understand it not working at the Mint, somewhere like that. Your poop material, but Dylan's, it should go over really well.
That was a lesson learned. Don't write a full 5 minutes.
It was just a night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I never. Yeah, it was just about like.
What was the best line in the joke? Do you remember?
It was about that, like taking a shit so big, and you're like, that feels kind of good, and then like this shit so big, you question your sexual preferences, and then. Also, how like sometimes when it comes out of the water, like a beached whale.
You mean the two old guys couldn't relate?
No, probably not. And then I forget what I have it recorded somewhere, but I think worst bomb ever. I labeled it. I'll listen to it, and then maybe next time I'll.
Yeah, we'll post it in the show notes for all those interested. Nash is going no.
Maybe no, probably not. It was early days, so it was well deserved. But then that was I respected the bomb a bit more. That was the first big one, and then I'm like reeling from it for 2 weeks.
The first big one. Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well played.
Real turd.
Yeah, how long have we done? Not that I'm looking to skedaddle.
We've probably almost done an hour.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we know. Don't do jokes about big poops, and don't ask how long we've done. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
I'm gonna go smell my hair for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, citrus. I'm gonna drink some kava, and then I'll let you know how I'm doing.
Can you?
I hope you do better.
Yeah,
I hope you do better, so you don't have to do improv by yourself anymore.
Kevin's real. He's there.
How much kava do you need to take, Elyott?
Yeah.
To get a real good.
Only take one. Don't take more than one. You want to take one, and probably in the morning.
Does it make you happy, or does it just take away the
crushing despair?
Yeah, or the fog.
Takes away the fog. I wouldn't say it makes you happy.
Perfect. That's all I want.
All right. I'm gonna walk down to the health food store to get some kava and some other dumb stuff that doesn't work.
Do you know what
but
does
I'm gonna
work?
walk because I can't drive.
Do you know what does work? Maca. If you ever have like a limp dick, you take Maca, and that's a supplement that 100%. There's some supplements that work. Bee pollen also is good for libido. Yeah. People shit on it, but I try them all the time.
No, and they do work. That's one of the. Even though I shit on it because I know that fake natural stuff does work, but people do think, right? They're like, oh, this is just like with the melatonin. You're like, oh, well, this is just all natural, so I'll just eat the whole bottle. And then people are like, no, it's still medicine. You still can't do that.
There was a guy in Terrace who owned a health food store that had he almost died. He had massive organ failure because he OD'd on vitamins. Like all of his organs started shutting down, and he was so close to dying because he took too much.
You definitely have to be very careful.
It does amazing things to the color of your urine, though. Yeah.
Mine's always clear because I drink so much water. But I pee like 17 times a day.
I have a small
bottle. I do too, but it's just my prostate is old. Pee 17 times at night.
17 times at night?
Yeah.
Getting old.
That might be hyperbole. Yeah.
It's more like 18 or 19.
Okay, well let's stop doing this.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's where I was going.
Yeah. I love you. Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to digitally meet with me today.
Yeah. It does sound like an intervention group now too. I love you guys as well. This has been great. Bye-bye.